Hi, I'm Cristy, and welcome to TEDxWilmington. We are doing our all-day event, speakers out the wazoo. I mean, seriously, right?
Yeah.
Incredible minds have been up on that stage. We're about halfway through, so we still have a ton more speakers. I've got Manuel, though.
Godoy.
Manuel Godoy. I love that, actually. I told him, I said, I know I'm going to mess it up, so just correct me as we go through. But welcome. You just got off stage. How did it feel?
It felt amazing. I was nervous at first when I walked up, but after that, I was like pretty excited.
Yeah. All right. So we haven't talked yet because some people weren't able to do the journey like a month ago. But give us a little sneak peek. What was the title? What you talked about?
So I talked about reclaiming African history. I'm a comic book writer. Actually a publisher, a pretty big one. And, I've been doing this my entire time. Since 2016, I've been writing stories about African civilizations, and my topic was specifically about how the media has portrayed African civilizations for the last 100 years. And the only way to, highlight those civilizations is to actually do it yourself.
That's incredible. I just saw like a documentary on something like that. Oh, so, I mean, my mind is blown like that this was your topic. I love when fate works out like that. So I feel like I know exactly where you're coming from with it.
Yeah.
So how did it feel? How did it feel getting up there? Was this your first talk?
Yes, this is my first TED Talk, but I am a public figure, so I've definitely had a lot of, I've been on television plenty of times. So
okay. Did this feel different though?
Yeah, it felt very different just because, one, you can't really see anybody. Like, it's very blinding on stage.
Oh, yeah.
And,
You get, like,
they're not
third
instructed
row,
to do anything either. So they don't have to be quiet, and they don't have to, so if they want to yell, they can yell. So you have to be prepared for that. But it was pretty intense, and I really got into it. Like, after like a minute or so, I was starting to fire off and get new ideas that I didn't even have before I went on stage.
Wow. I know, that's the hardest part. You're like, no, stick to what I was talking about.
I was super short already, so I was like, my thing was like 9 minutes max, so I could ad-lib a bit and that would have been fine.
Do you know, they say one of the best TEDx's TED Talks that ever been given was 5 minutes long. So
I know, so.
You're like in the running for that now. You're like, 9 minutes, baby.
I don't even know how long it was, actually, they didn't tell me.
No, that's incredible. So, it did, though. It felt different, because of the lights and everything.
Yeah,
like
and
that.
also the topic.
The
topic was very much. It was a conflicting topic. Like you could easily get offended by some of the stuff I was saying because it was something that was very. I was talking about Western civilization, the media and all those other things. There's a lot of people with strong opinions on the other side of that argument. So I knew that I wanted to see how the crowd would react and everything else, right? But, going to the lion's den, you got to be different. You can't just go up there and say, this is how you become a successful business owner. I just couldn't do that. So.
Right. No, I really like that because these are conversations that need to be had too, and people don't know how to broach the subjects on certain things. So when, somebody said it perfectly, the one, not that long ago, it was somebody has to start talking first for the conversation to happen. And I was like, that's so simple, and we all know that. But, I think, like you said, it throws in some strong feelings.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I've always been one, too, that's like, like I'm in a space where I make very unusual stories or stories that are like very like specific to a certain culture, right? And I always been one to be like, look, I'm not trying to cancel anybody. I don't care what y'all did or how y'all did it, right? It's like everybody has their moments, right? I'm gonna have moments in the future where somebody get mad at me about doing something. So I could care less what people do, so long as their resume fits the bill, right? If you're doing positive things for the most part, you're allowed to make a mistake, right? So I think people are a little too sensitive nowadays.
Yeah.
Try to jump on down everybody's throat because they have a different opinion, and it's like, look, could y'all be neighbors? Yeah, all right then, right? It's like if somebody can't be your neighbor, y'all probably too far apart. But there's plenty of people that live right next to you that you don't agree with on every single detail, but y'all are just fine.
I agree. Yeah, and it is. We're living in a society where, you know, it's not okay to make mistakes. Mistakes is how you learn, and that's how we were raised, right?
Yeah.
You know, you make a mistake, you learn from it, and you know, that's the whole "fool me once," you know, kind of thing, right? You're like, I made a mistake, learn from it.
Yeah, and I'm a big believer in whenever you do have a failure or something like that, to just let it be known and be real and be honest. Don't try to make yourself holier than thou. Don't try to be perfect, right? Just go out there and say, oh, I just lost $10,000, right? But I'm not going to try again, you know. And by doing that, people trust you more, right? And they also don't jump down your throat when you do mess up, because they're like, hey, he's always been honest, right? We know he's gonna turn it around, and that's why we've been such a success as a company.
Yeah, that's incredible. Oh my gosh, I'm really happy to talk with you. This is our first time ever talking, so it's been an absolute pleasure meeting you, because wow, just a brilliant mind, as I've seen, you know, time and time again today. But like, I love when I meet new people and they just shock me and surprise me. Like, this has been great. So how was the response on stage?
Oh yeah, I had a couple of big cheers and stuff like that, you know, because I come up with some really hard-hitting facts. You know, like when you're a comic book creator, you know, people are lucky if they even make $20,000 a year. So when I made $3 million, you know, without the industry and stuff, like, these are things that people can't be like, wow, whatever you're doing is obviously working, right? And it's so disruptive. It's not normal to do it in this way, right? You're not using the typical means. So they were very fired up about that. And they also accepted my critique of Hollywood. You know, they were like, they understood that, yeah, it's kind of weird how you can invest maybe 12 times a year. You can invest in stories about slavery and civil rights and stuff like that, but you'll never chance, not once in like literally decades, an African civilization. You're saying it's not marketable. And they were laughing about that, like, this is true. How do you not spend a little money to see if that works? It was like, yeah. He's like, so they're not going to do it. We got to do it. And they had some cool applause moments and stuff too.
That's awesome. I'm so happy for you. Yeah. How did it feel? Did you have nerves going up?
Oh, absolutely. I was terrified at the first minute or so.
I believe it.
I took a good breath. I said, I'm not going to start talking immediately. Just okay.
Nice. But you were calm, cool, and collected. I mean, you're so dapper. You were probably like.
Oh yeah, I was on my game today. I look good today.
Yeah.
Today I look good. So.
I love it. I love that. All right, so we're getting close to our time here, but I want to know, do you want to share any links or anything like that?
Yeah, so
I would love for people to be able to get a hold of you.
I wish my wife would have. I would have my wallet. I don't have my wallet, but you can go to blacksands.com if you want to know anything about our company, if you want to buy books or whatever. And also, we are currently in the middle of an investment round. So if you want to own stock in my company, it's always something you can do. We have investor cards that are like little metal cards that literally say, you know, investor in 2023, just because I know we're going to be famous one day, like super famous. So, you know, having that little card in your hand is like, nah, I was here before they were famous. Don't talk to me, right? People love that. You know, we already raised like $680,000
awesome.
Through our fans.
Claim it, yep.
Yeah, so.
Claim it. I love that.
Fun times.
I just met you, but I'm so proud of you, and I think that you have really made an outstanding mark, just here today in this theater, but now doing the TEDx, you've made an impact.
Hopefully
on the world.
I start talking more, right?
Yes.
I'm always a guest, right? I'm always a guest. I've always go to schools and talk to people, but I've never done like these event speakings, right? It's always some kind of private event. It's nothing like this. So hopefully this does lead to a lot more conversations out there, and you know, because people need to hear the story from somebody who's not going to beat around the bush or give, you know, what would I say, generic examples. I hate generic examples. You just believe it, you can achieve it. I hate that.
Manuel's hard hitting. He's gonna do it. Hard hitting. I love it. Oh well, I'm gonna be like, I knew him first. Well, not first, but I knew him when. Thank you so much for being here. It was such a pleasure. And if you got asked to come back, would you do it?
Oh, absolutely. It's fun. It's a great experience.
All right. Very good. All right. Well, this is Journey to TEDx Wilmington, and thank you so much. We're going to have more speakers coming up in a little bit, and keep on watching. Thank you again.
Peace.
Okay, I made it go away again. So this is technical difficulties, and
Well,
it's
thank
dying.
you.
Thank you so much. I'm hungry.
Okay.
It is so nice to meet you, and I'll see you at the after party, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. My wife's here and our kids. I think we just dropped them off for a second, so I don't know if we